Atlantia vivere, Atlantia vincere, Atlantia victor. Atlantia vivere, Agartha vivere, Shambhala vivere, Lemuria vivere, Urantia vivere, Akasha vivere, Lir, Mur, Surka vivere, the insect civilization, the horse civilization, the cat civilization vivere. My dear friends, we have to establish some boundaries here. In Macedonia, a man who is older than 70 years old, than 65 years old, cannot be commander-in-chief of the army. If he is a king of the great city of Argos, of the undefeated city of Argos, he must leave the kingship and the crown for his oldest son, me. If he is, but my father is not yet older than 65. If he is an emperor, he must let his crown of emperor to his oldest son, or another king must be elected emperor. Also in Macedonia, a woman cannot be king or emperor or president. We have a very strict society here in Romania. People consider here in Ardeal that you are mature enough at the age of 40. In the other parts, in the old kingdom, they consider, because they are werewolves, that you are at the age of 30 or 35. You cannot be in the same time a referee and a player in the field. Therefore, Hillary Clinton cannot be, my sister Artemis cannot be president for a number of reasons. Because she's a woman, because she's 69 years old, because for 40,000 years she led Atlantia with me, because she's a member of the Great Council of Atlantia, because USA is a country who is under 500 years old, and she feels the need, like a mother, to protect you, to the Methodist thing, which is a hogwash. Yes, for the Methodist it's not a hogwash, but it is for her. She invokes this, but she does not believe in what she is saying, that you have to do all the good that you can as long as you can. She has a false image about you, and also I have a false image about you, because our image comes from 7,000 years ago at least. We have lived in a harsh society, in a slave society, where people in Dutch, I can tell you all the ancient times, were savages, but not as savages as the people around them. They dressed in wolves' sheeps, they were werewolves and vampires, they used drugs and alcohol, they danced, and a priest was singing to them, and sometimes he fell asleep, and then they broke up the mirage, and they killed him by tore him to pieces and eating him, and after that they ravaged the land, also their land and the land of the neighbors. They destroyed the tribe of the Tauri and the tribe of Boy, which are oxes in Hungary. That is why in the Stargate program they are called the Tauri. Yes. So you cannot be a referee and a player at the same time. You cannot say that because I am the great god Apollo and I have 40,000 years old or more, 4 billion, 2 million years old, leading Atlantia, depending on what side of the time you watch from, that I have the right in 2016 AD to be president of Romania, or president of the entire world, or president of the galaxy, or president of the universe, or something like that. No, that would be totally stupid. I know all that Herodot says about the Romanian people. I know your history. I know the date 1615 or 1604, I don't know exactly. But I know that your first city, Roanoke, was created roughly 400 years ago. Yes, more or less. I know that you are very sensitive about these dates, but it is not so important for me, because the laws of Diana says that, which are incidentally the laws of Artemis, says that you have to wait at least 500 years before you are considered to be a mature nation. So there is little doubt in my mind that Donald Trump is an honest man. There is little doubt in my mind that He is from the cat civilization. He's a very spiritual guy. He's a dictator, a benevolent dictator, not a bloody dictator. There is little doubt in my mind that he will be elected president. There is little doubt in my mind that he is bankrupt. I know that he was taking loans. I know that Hillary Clinton has problems with ISIS, with Berner, with the decision of the Congress, and so on and so forth. Yes, I know all about this, about Huma and about the emails, the server, and so on. This does not matter. We have to establish some boundaries. Because I was very sad when I heard that Hillary Clinton was killed or arrested. Yes, a few days ago, a week ago, because she sent to me some presents, a MacBook Air and an iPhone 5, which incidentally landed at Dracula, Cristian Tataru, who is a spy, who works incidentally also for us and for them, for Americans and for CRE and for NSA or Section 1 or whatever, and he is paid. And he learned my present, and I felt on these presents that he is uses, and I'm not allowed to use not even 1 minute or 1 second, the energy of my sister Artemis. Okay, so she is crazy, and I am crazy too, and this is a crazy world, yes. But the word is mine. It is the word of the gods of Atlantia, not the word of God, of the Jewish God or Christian God. Because I have worked for 7,000 days, and another 13 days it was the cycle of water, and then 13 days was a cycle of suffering, and now it is a cycle of sacrifice. And it is my right, and all my 17 dragons will respect and will sacrifice for me because they have honor. And I have seen my third dragon and fourth dragon, Dacia Severano, singing with Andrew Rieu, Rose of Kerkrade. She sang. You can find the melody on YouTube. Okay. So I don't want to die. I don't want to work. I didn't want to work for 7,000 days and lose my teeth and lose my health and have a health of a 60-year-old man. I didn't want to be spit in the face every day, but I took all these things as a duty towards God, towards the supreme and manifested God, like it is written in Bhagavad Gita, that all the fruits of your labor give it back to me. So you have to consider that all your work comes from God, and also my planet is not my planet, you are not my property, and I am not your property, the planet is not your property, and also you, the beings on this planet, are not the property of the planet. Yes? We are not slaves to each other, we are all independent beings, and therefore this planet, this creation who is now in the 5th day, does not belong to me. It belongs to God, and also to the Supreme and Manifested God. I give now the fruits of my labor, and the fruits of my labor are you. It is this nice civilization. There is little doubt in my mind that Artemis believes that you, the American people, are not fit to lead the world. You are not matured. You are like children. For her and for me, yes, you behave like children. But on the other hand, I know for a fact that the time has accelerated. We have passed to the medieval age, and the cycles were no longer 8,000 years old, they were only 400 years old. And now in the ethical age, 20 years old, and therefore you have gained a lot of ethical and power experience. This experience does not make you mature. But you know, it is like I wish to tell you something, and you will realize what I want to say. There was a man aged 137 years old, 100 years older than me. He was born in 1880s, I believe. He was the only veteran of the First and Second World Wars. And maybe you're asking why I am wearing the diadema of the gods and also the crown. I am wearing the crown because this is the crown of Romania and the crown of Atlantia. And I'm wearing the diadema of the gods because I also wish to speak to Romania and to Atlantia. Yes? Okay. I wish to speak also to the national level and to the planetary, galactic, universal level. Because I believe that the path for Atlantia is to benefit all the species and all the races of the universe. They all shall benefit from our virtual democracy, which I believe it to be the highest form of democracy. And also, I know for a fact that we, the gods, Apollo, Artemis, Zeus, Gaia, Hephaestus, Athena, Dionysos, Aphrodite, we have a very partial and old image of the world. Our image is no longer suited. So this very old man was asked, it was after the revolution. The reporter asked him, how do you feel? And he said, well, I'm very good, I'm in perfect health. And incidentally he died 6 months later. The reporter said, you are the best soldier that we have. Maybe you should be, commander-in-chief of the army. We should make you a minister, the defense minister. In a few years, Iliescu, who is a little bit crazy at 68 years of old, or 60 years old, will retire and you shall be the new president, because we need someone we can trust. And therefore, he said with great courage and also with great common sense, he said, I am sorry, but it is not my place. I am 137 years old, I did my duty, now you must do your duty. And the reporter said, well, he was a 20-year-old boy. And these spies, which are now, they are making noise, they are installing new microphones into my walls, because they believe that I shall be president or prime minister of Romania. But I wish to tell you, to all of you, that it is not my place to be present. Yes, to give advices, yes, I will give advices, but it is not my place to be president or prime minister of Romania. And it is not the place of Artemis to be president of the United States or to be secretary of state. I understand that your society is not in the medieval age or in the slave age. I understand that you are in the national cycle. I understand everything about you. But it is not her place. Yes? To judge you, and other people should judge you. The entire world is now united. Yes? And he refused. And then Iliescu came, who was 68 years old, and the reporter said, Mr. Iliescu, you are over 65 years of age. Do you still want to be president? And Iliescu said, of course I want to be president, because I love power, I love money. Okay. So this is the difference. And she should know the difference. And I wish now to give a Praetorian declaration. I wish to offer myself and my dragons as a sacrifice for Atlantia. And I wish to say that that is my wish, my death wish, to have a unity between all races on Earth, between the black race, the red race, the yellow race, the white race, the green race, and the blue race of Agartha and Shambhala. And to have a galactic union on this planet, between the 7 people or 52 billion intelligent people of this planet, between the fishes and the bacteria and the dragons and the humans and everyone else, and the cats and the vampires and werewolves and horses, and because we are a mini universe. And from this universe, this great achievement of mine, because I have created so many intelligent species, I have recreated so many intelligent species on this planet, and on the city of Butcher Mountain, which I don't want to be destroyed, you can find near the skeletons of the, those giants, you can find the entire history, the genetic history of this planet. So I invoke the ritual of sacrifice. I will be killed with a stake in my guts, and thrown in the river, but after that I shall ascend, because there is no doubt that the energy being of Atlantia will take me. And I love you all, but it is not my place to lead the country or the world and stuff, because I already did my duty. For 7,000 days I have suffered. I was humiliated, I was poor, I was made old, I was made ugly, yes. I was humiliated in every possible way. And it is not the place of my sister Artemis to speak, it is my place to speak. Now, her place was when she was burned alive in France. That was, and when she was burned alive in Athens, or maybe it was Athena. Does not matter. Now it is my place to speak. And this is what I wish to, that all the Stargate programs shall be made public. All the 12 or 13 Stargates, including the one in Butcher's Mountain, shall be made available to everyone and made to the public. All the secrets shall be known to the public. The energy beings in the Atlantian city shall be known to everyone, and they have a special rule that only if your ethical energy is more than 75%, you can go to their place. Okay, we respect that. They respect our rules. We respect their rules. Everyone is happy. Yes. Union does not mean mingling. Okay. We can preserve the white race, the albigenses. We don't need to fuck each other, to make love, to make children between races, to make a great mingling of all races. This will be very bad, to destroy all the culture like the Illuminati want. But we shall use our fusion plants, our graviton technology, our laser, plasma, antimatter, jump drives, and so on, to expand in the universe. We shall colonize 200 planets in 200 years. And everyone shall have a free vote on virtualdemocracy.org. We shall propose laws, we shall vote laws, we shall no longer have governments. This is not anarchy, we have rules. 30 days for proposing a law, minimum half of the people who are registered must vote. At least half of this planet is on the internet. There are 3.6 billion people on the net. Everything is in place, two-factor authentication, and so on and so forth. So, I love you all. This is my family. Goodbye.